Hi, Ashley. Thanks for joining me on Behind the Build. I'm Paul Drake, and this podcast is all about getting real insights from leaders in housing, manufacturing, construction. There's no scripts, there's no sugarcoating. Here's how I would like to structure our conversation this morning. I want to understand your background, the trends you're seeing in the industry, whether that's technology, market shifts, or operational changes, any challenges that you might be facing right now, and where you want to take the business over the next 6 to 12 months. We'll wrap up at the end with any insights that we might find valuable. Does that sound good?
Yeah, all good.
Cool. It'll take about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how long your answers are. So let's kick off with a bit about you, Ashley. If you won't mind, tell me a bit about yourself, your role, and how you ended up in this position.
Yes, I've been here 10 years now. I've done everything from starting on the sales floor, bit of sales management, managing sales, to now being in charge of setting the strategy and looking after the finances for the business going forward. In terms of the business, you'd probably class us as a disruptor. We started 23 years ago. We're always been and always have been focused on about, a customer needs something, we'll go and find it and get it for them. We're focused on the service. We don't hold any stock. We're purely online or over the phone. So we work with our supply networks, basically to get our customers what they want when they need it. Where how we differentiate ourselves is really that service piece, and the team in sales are all looking to build up their customer base and have lifelong, or as long as they're here, lasting relationships with customers, and just basically helping them out with some of the common challenges they face when they're trying to order materials.
Right. Okay. Just give us a high level overview of the business then. You mentioned that you provide supplies to businesses. Is there anything specific in there?
Yeah, so our background is dry lining and insulation, interiors, and all that sort of stuff. Our main customers are sort of the subcontractors that are doing commercial fit outs, or they might be doing, residential properties. So that's our kind of sweet spot and where we can help people the best. The customers that are maybe got two or three staff members, they're getting too busy to do the buying themselves, but they need to do the job as well. That's where we come in and help out. They make one phone call to us and we'll sort everything out for them.
Right. In terms of locality, is it just where you're
We're
based, or is it
we're,
national?
we're nationwide, yeah, because that's the benefit of not holding any stock and having a supply network. We can, if you need something in northern Scotland and the only stock's in Southampton, we can get it there for you. We're that's the benefits of using us, really.
Hmm. Excellent. Is there a typical day in your life, Ashley, when you're at work?
Oh, not really. Yeah, I spin many plates here. When I first started, there was five of us working in a room. We've grown to about 60 staff members in that time. So I'll be involved in anything from the financial planning to making sure the leadership team and the business are all doing the same joined up strategy and not pushing in different directions, really. So yeah, a typical day for me will be checking in on some of the strategy pieces, approving payments, seeing what money's moving out, what's coming in. Um, but yeah, I think my role is fairly unique in the sense that I won't just be tied to one department. I've got to make sure all of them are talking to each other and getting along.
Hmm. Sounds good. Moving on to trends, industry trends then. Are you seeing anything right now, especially around sort of technology and operational efficiencies, but it's pretty key to what you're doing if you're just moving stock around essentially and not holding any?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting, it's the buzzword at the minute, AI, isn't it? So
Mm.
I constantly get people approaching me like, you can automate this, you can automate that, X, Y, and Z. Um, there's definitely a space for it, but with what we do, we're a people business, and I don't see that drastically changing. But some of the mundane, simpler tasks can be done through that. In terms of every supplier I speak to at the minute, they're finding it tough. I think there's a huge race to the bottom going on, and people are prepared to take orders at, margins or volumes that they wouldn't do before. So there's definitely a lot of our supply partners are finding it tough out there. Um, so as you know, the construction trade runs on credit.
Mm.
We're definitely seeing a higher number of insolvencies or people struggling to get paid. So I've noticed that. That's been like the last 2 years now. I think people have found it really difficult coming out the back of COVID. So yeah, we're quite vigilant with that, really.
Yeah, I guess it keeps you quite exposed, doesn't it? If your suppliers are struggling. Um,
Yeah, and where we work with the subcontractors, and again, this is a problem that's been around for forever, it seems. Because we work with the subcontractors, they're at the mercy of the main contractors, and more often than not, the start of the job's fine because they get a deposit, they can pay regular, but then it gets to the end of the job, the main contractors hold all the power, they start picking up on stuff, they start, withholding payments, and that's where some of our customers can get into trouble with cash flow issues. I don't know how we solve that, but there's got to be a better way of working going forwards because you see it time and time again.
hmm. I think it starts at the top, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, well, it is a waterfall approach, isn't it? And if they're not prepared to open the sluice gates, then it's always going to be tough, isn't it, for the people at the bottom? Yeah. So, are you using any digital tools then to support you with that in any aspect of what you do? I know you mentioned AI, but you're more people.
Yeah, so the main sort of thing we use Salesforce. That's kind of the brain of what we do. It's a perfect CRM system, and if you need to bolt stuff onto it, you can. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the where all our customer data goes, all our chasing, all of that sort of stuff is all built off the back of there, and we have our ERP system to place orders and do all the financial side of things. And yeah, we have our website as well. We're in the process of trying to link them all together to get them to talk to each other. However, it's easier said than done.
Yeah, always a challenge.
Yeah,
Um, Other than the concerns about your
I
customers
lost you again, Paul.
not being able to satisfy the debt that or the credit that they're building up, any other concerns, challenges that you're seeing, uncertainties?
Sorry, I lost you there again. What was that question?
Yeah, so other than your customers building up big credit bills and not being able to satisfy the terms of that, are you seeing any other concerns in the industry or uncertainties?
Um, I think for us, if I look at our business, we were probably one of the first ones doing what we do. Then ever since COVID, I've noticed there's a lot of new entrants coming in that might be one or two man bands. They're prepared to take you know, the DIY orders or the lower value orders. They're going to our supply chain to, batter them around the head with prices and stuff. We sometimes get put into that same bucket and it can turn suppliers off. Whereas, we're not like that. We have overheads. We're not as much as a customer relationship's important to us, the supply relationship's also important to us,
Mm.
equally, if not more. And we don't want to be doing that. There's a lot of companies out there that have sprang up seemingly overnight doing that. So it can give us a bad name because we're in that similar sort of business type. So that's definitely an ongoing challenge to maintain those relationships.
Yeah, so on the flip side of that, then, any opportunities that you're seeing?
I lost you again, mate.
Yeah, the connection at your end doesn't seem to be working particularly well. We'll run with it, Ashley. But yeah,
Okay.
any opportunities that you're seeing on the flip side of that negative side?
Yeah. There's unfortunately in our trade there's a lack of service sometimes. Um, Unfortunately and unfortunately. So there is an opportunity to be out there and really look after customers because they do value that.
Mm.
Um, there's a lot of the big boys, some of the service you get, sometimes I feel like because they're so big, sometimes you'll get a really good branch in one area and then another area they won't be as good. So it's really difficult to keep that consistency. So yeah, there's definitely opportunities in terms of offering the best in class service, really.
Mm.
I think looking at our business as well, there's product areas that we haven't always done that we could move into as well. So, there's going to be hopefully plenty of demand for materials going into the next few years, but we're yet to see it.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? If they manage to achieve that objective. I think I might have lost you again.
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, I think you'd like to think so if they do achieve that 1.5 million
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
build expectation or statistic that they keep throwing around. But we'll see. Where would you say your business is currently positioned in the market? I know you mentioned that there's a few people starting up doing similar sort of things, but would you say you're the leader in what you do, or where would you say you're positioned?
I'd say we're probably the one of the biggest doing what we do. There's a few others out there that doing similar. Um, there was one CMO group that was probably the biggest, but they ran into financial difficulties and ended up being brought out by a Lord's Builders Merchant Group. They were kind of the flag bearer. They were the biggest. They floated on the stock market. Due to how long we've been around, and we are probably up there in that bracket. We've kind of, I guess, attitudes towards our types of business in the industry have always been quite negative. So we haven't really been forthcoming in how we work, and kind of we kept a low profile. But I think attitudes may be changing now. So it's something to think about. But yeah, if I was going to say where we were, if we were talking the Premier League table style, we're probably maybe ninth or eighth in the league, maybe with
Okay.
aspirations to go higher.
Yeah. So everyone can relate to that football league. Well, say most people can relate to that football league table, can't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Is there anything that the company does extraordinarily well? Now you mentioned that the customer service side is what you focus on heavily, but is there anything that you would say you do really, really well?
I think it's the flexibility of what we do. We're not limited to what's on our website. If a customer needs something, we'll sort it out. If we can get our hands on it, we'll find it out for them. We've done everything from tea bags, washing machines, microwaves, and to full steel frame systems. So
Mm.
if there's a need for it, we'll normally find it. We regularly do jobs for prisons and MOD bases and things like that, so we can deal with the extra security you need and all of that stuff. So I think it's the flexibility, and the determination of the team they quite like a problem, and they quite like to solve it. So I think that's what we do well. I've had customers say to me, look, I know you're going to be a little bit more expensive, but I know that I can ring you. There's not an issue. Ringing you whenever. Like if I can get hold of you, call me back, and you'll normally get it sorted within X amount of time. So I think it's that customer relationship bit really that I think we do really well.
Mm. Good. Do you get any feedback from your customers? Is there anything that they consistently say that's
Yeah,
good?
yeah. I think it's the ease of communicating with us. The guys are using WhatsApp. They're using their phone. They use whatever way the customer likes to work. We'll normally mold and shape what we can offer to them. So that's I think we're 4.3 at the minute on Trustpilot as well. And it's just the sort of can do attitude, and,
Mm.
we'll give it a go and we'll try and help you, and not just saying no straight away.
certainly coming across that can-do attitude, Ashley, which is it's always nice to see, because there's a lot of the world that doesn't seem to have that attitude, it would seem, sadly. So where would you like to take the business over the next sort of 6 to 12 months then?
So we've kind of got it, let's use some building terminology. We've built some solid foundations over the last year or so. We had some big projects go live. So we've launched a new ERP system. We launched a new website because that needed updating. So that's kind of in place now for us to build on and expand. So really over the next 6 to 12 months, it's understanding further what our core customers want, and how we can tailor what we're doing to better suit them. Can we increase our online offering and what we offer on account basis, or is there stuff we can do in here? Is there common issues that are coming up that our customers want us to solve? So it's looking at that. Also, we've been doing pretty much the same products for a long time. We did get to a point a few years ago where we had like double the amount of products on our site. It just, someone would ring us, look, I've got these products, do you want to put them on there? They'd go on there without a second thought, and it became messy and a bit chaotic. So for me, it's looking at what other product areas can we add and do it properly, thought out, bit of a launch, bit of PR, all of that sort of stuff that can then unlock other customer bases we don't normally serve. For example, plumbing, bathrooms, all of that sort of stuff we've never really been big on. But if we could package that and launch that as an area, that'd be great. Another area, fire protection, that is obviously big news at the moment. The products that are involved in that, our customers are already buying anyway, so it would move that quite nicely as well. So yeah, really, in summary, it's kind of finding out what else our customers would want or need and doing that to match, really.
Yeah, exciting times. I mean, there's lots going on in that space, and it's certainly in terms of social housing, we've got our ear to the ground on that front, and a lot of retrofits going on there, lots of things in that plumbing space and fire doors, like you say. So definite opportunity there for you. So that's quite exciting. Then, so what about operational challenges then that could get in your way of you achieving those objectives? Do you see any?
Challenges that are going to get in the way? Well, we've got the budget in a few weeks. We'll see what happens there.
The Wi-Fi connection in that office that you're currently in.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's really stable, this end. Yeah, so if challenges, see what happens with the budget. I mean, recruitment, getting good people is always a challenge. We've just had a batch come in. It takes a lot of time from the team to find the right people and to get them to understand what we're about and what we're trying to do. Retaining staff as well. That's always a key challenge. As always, whatever goes on with the economy, if it's on a downturn, construction is normally the industry that feels it first. So, that's again another challenge we're going to have to deal with. And keeping the current team motivated to push on. It's that's what I see really.
Always a challenge. Do you see tech and AI helping in that? Like you, I don't think it should be replacing people. It should be there to assist.
Yeah.
By using more of that, you can retain more of your team. You don't need as many people to do the same
yeah,
level.
There's a lot of efficiency pieces that we can use it on. Some of the mundane stuff we can use it on. I mean, in terms of credit lending, we've just partnered with a company that uses an AI model to assess what credit limits they give customers. So they effectively, a customer will place an order with us. They'll use that. It's like Klarna, but for businesses. They take the risk on. They traditionally can offer bigger limits because of who they are than we would. So that's definitely where AI has been good. We've reduced our risk and been able to help our customers with bigger orders if they've needed them.
Yeah. So we've seen it in quite a few industries where people are using it to support what an individual user can do on a day-to-day basis. So instead of serving, currently, as an example, 10 clients per day, they can do 15 clients per day using technology to help them. So it's reducing the need to try and find people, because it does seem to be a real challenge, not just in your industry, but in lots of industries that we're speaking with, that finding the right people and then having a lot of time to train them and hopefully retain them, and all the challenges that go with that, that piece. Yeah, I think you're not unique in that challenge, I would say. Moving on to your biggest struggle to
Cool.
date then. So what's been the biggest challenge to get to where you are so far, would you say? Would you say staff, suppliers, customers, economics, COVID type things where the price of everything goes through the roof? What would you say has been the biggest challenge?
Sorry, just repeat that.
Sorry, yeah. I'm going to send you a new Wi-Fi, a new router, not Wi-Fi. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
send you Wi-Fi. Don't know where that came from.
I'm going to get onto my IT guy after this, but what's going on?
um, yeah. So what would you say has been your biggest struggle to get to where you are today? You mentioned you've been with the company for a number of years, but what's been the biggest struggle? Would you say it's been the price of of, of supplies that went through the roof through COVID and doesn't ever seem to have calmed down yet? Would you say it's been staffing? Would you say it's been customer supplies? What's been the biggest challenge out of all those, would you say? Or is it something else?
I'd say it's probably a combination. COVID was difficult on everyone. Getting the right people. We've made many mistakes with that in the past. It's also transitioning our thinking from a small business to a larger business. We got to a point a couple of years ago, famous saying in here that we used to, have an idea on a Monday, implement it on a Wednesday, and forget about it on a Friday.
Mm,
And that just, all built up to a point a couple of years ago where it just got, chaotic and out of
yeah,
control. And if we wanted to double the size of what we're doing, how we were working and our processes wasn't gonna get us forward. We got so far on entrepreneurial spirit, but it now requires a different skill set.
yeah.
So we had to make some difficult choices, had to, reorganize cost structure and all of that. So yeah, the biggest challenge really is now, we're not, this business has probably grown past what the owner ever thought it would do. And it's now, okay, well, we are a substantially large business. How do we make that next step? How do we make sure, we make the right decisions in what we're doing going forwards?
Mm. Well, you're clearly passionate about what you do, Ashley. So, from a personal perspective, achieving those objectives that you mentioned a moment ago, what does it mean to you?
Repeat that again.
It's okay. So, you mentioned the objectives, 6 to 12 months objectives from a company perspective. What does it mean to you personally to achieve those? Because you're obviously quite a passionate individual, and it seems that you enjoy working where you do. So what did it mean to you to achieve them?
I mean, I'm doing my job. So yeah, no, I would be proud. I've been here a long time. I've seen a lot of changes, and it would almost just vindicate, okay, we are on the right path. We are making a substantial change. Our strategy works of, being service led and people first.
Mm,
Um, it's going to be tough. There's going to be challenges along the way. But personally, I'll find it very rewarding if we manage to achieve that.
great. We're coming to the end of our podcast now, Ashley. It's been fantastic listening to you and hearing your discussions and answers on your challenges and opportunities. And thanks for speaking so candidly with us. It's been a bit of a challenge with the data stroke Wi-Fi connection, but I think we got there in the end. So thank you very much. Yeah, great. Thanks, Ashley.
No worries. Cheers, Paul.
Yes.